Well, you're listening to CKUA. My name is Grant, and the program is Alberta Morning, where we're about to be joined by a true luminary of Albertan and Canadian literature, talking about a story that was sparked, at least in part, by the authors losing a close family member, a book called The Probability of Everything, which is a work about facing a potentially world-ending rogue asteroid, and it's a kid's book. Acclaimed Edmonton-based author Sarah Everett published her latest book, The Probability of Everything, in June via HarperCollins Canada, and this month it was named the winner of the Governor-General's Literary Award for Young People's Literature Text. So awesome. I'm so thrilled I get a chance to say welcome and congratulations to the author of The Probability of Everything, Sarah Everett. Sarah, thank you so much for making some time to join us on CKUA today.
Hi, Grant. Thank you so much for having me.
I love this book, and it brings a lot of different things together. And of course, the whole story runs through this brilliant protagonist that you have created, somebody that I feel like I know at this point, having read your book. Can you introduce us to Kemi Carter a little bit?
Sure. So Kemi is an 11-year-old girl who she loves probability, loves science and math. And she's sort of dealing with the end of the world by putting together a time capsule that sort of is going to capture the important things about her family as this asteroid is coming to Earth. That's about her.
It's an amazing and incredibly imaginative book, and I kept thinking, as I was turning the pages compulsively, how did she think of this story? Like, what was the first glimmer to you about this story or about this character? Do you recall?
Yeah, I do. I think sometimes the character comes first, sometimes it's the concept first. For me, the concept came first. As you mentioned, I was dealing with the loss of a loved one, and in the midst of that grief, I've always been someone who processes difficult life events in part by reading and exposing myself to different forms of media and just trying to like work through some of those things by reading or by watching things that might be helpful. And so I remember looking for something that captured grief in a way that wasn't typical. So like not necessarily the sadness aspect of grief, because there's a lot of stuff about that. And there's a lot of stuff about the anger part of grief. But I really felt the need to find something that spoke to, for me, the disbelieving part of the grief, where it's just impossible to wrap your mind around something as big and as sort of life-changing as the loss of a loved one.
It's so beautiful and in some ways very courageous, like you're writing for smaller readers, let's say, but about really, really big questions. How important do you think it is for people, of a young age to find ways, whether it's through art, creativity, what have you, of grappling with, larger issues in ways that they can relate to?
Yeah, I think that no matter the age, storytelling is really helpful in terms of dealing with difficult topics. But I know for particularly for kids, there's sort of this notion out there that that we don't want to expose them to things that are too difficult. We don't want them to read about death or about difficult subject matter. My feeling about that is that kids are going to experience those things anyway. They're going to deal with the loss of pets, loss of loved ones. And what books do is sort of give kids a safe place to process some of those difficult and big themes. And then they can have those conversations with their caregivers, their parents, their teachers, talk about how they feel and kind of just explore those difficult things in a safe way.
Yeah, I hear you as the parent of young children, including an 11-year-old, and we try to shelter them like crazy.
Mhm.
Life still creeps through it, and you're so right. Grappling with things is so important, and especially through a character that that one can really identify with? I mean, I think Kemi is just a very sympathetic character. I get a sense like you're maybe very close, your heart is very close to Kemi's heart. How much do you identify with Kemi yourself?
Kemi does have some similarities to me, like superficially. She comes from this close knit Nigerian family. My family is from Nigeria originally. She loves science and she's the STEM loving young kid. And I was definitely that growing up as well. She's sort of analytical in her way of thinking, and I'm similar. But I think that I actually took for granted some of those characteristics that were so similar between myself and Kemi. It's sort of as I've started talking more about the book and discussing the themes and things like that, that I realized like, oh, I kind of wrote a little bit about myself. So yeah, but it's there are a lot of similarities, and she definitely, I feel like a part of me is definitely captured in her.
That's so beautiful. So not only do we get to sort of explore ideas and themes and questions and try to find our place in the world, but the author is able to learn a little bit about herself as well. That's really beautiful.
Uh,
Well, Sarah, thanks so much for this fantastic conversation and this wonderful book, just the latest in your great oeuvre so far. We are extremely grateful for your time this morning and really want to say congratulations, a very hearty congratulations from the bottom of my heart. And I wanted to hopefully direct as many people as possible to check out Sarah Everett's work, the latest, The Probability of Everything, winner of the Governor General's Award earlier this month. And you can go to saraheverettbooks.com for lots more on all this and all things Sarah Everett. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Grant.
And hey, just out of curiosity, is there a musical suggestion that you might happen to have rattling around in your heart?
So I actually have two, and they're kind of related to the book. One is Purple Rain by Prince, and the other is Walking on Sunshine. So I don't know which one you want to play with.
That's great. Well, I guess it might make sense to go with the rain and then the sunshine, perhaps.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I love it. Thank you, Sarah, and congratulations once more.
Thank you so much.